Today we're going to talk about my experience of early access to the Vanguard beta. We're going to talk about various modes, weapons, kill streaks, field upgrades, and various things across the line. If you enjoy the video, learn something new, please do me a favor, hit the like button. If you want to come back, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Side note, I'm going to go ahead and post some more gameplay on my second channel, which is linked near the top of the description. It's just more JGOD. So let's go ahead and go through the weapons. Straightforward, this is the beta build, so you're not going to have access to all the weapons. The highest level you're going to be able to get to is level 30 for this beta build. So we were able to see what they have access: the bulk, NZ41, the bar, the Itra burst, the STG44, SMGs. There's going to be 3 of those. We got the shotguns that are available, LMGs. If you have a preference on LMGs, the Bren is back. We got marksman rifles. M1 Grand fires incredibly slow. I don't think it's going to be like really good. And then we got the 3-line rifle and the Car 98. When it comes to secondaries, there's going to be 3 pistols. Machine pistol was pretty nutty. Launchers, and then melee weapons, they're going to be there at level 22. So those are kind of how the weapons stack out. We'll talk a little bit about the Gunsmith. Everything is 10 attachments. So once you unlock everything, you can actually equip 10 attachments, and they do all kinds of stuff. Like, you can kind of see all the various things. I'm going to go ahead and skim through so you guys can like pause or click on whatever you want to see. But you also get the simplified version, or you can show details like Cold War. They've integrated that, and hopefully they'll make its way into Warzone, because it's very useful to be able to just see, okay, the damage range, the damage, the movement. And once the game comes out, we'll be able to do some more proper testing to kind of figure out what's accurate, what's not, and we'll make those adjustments so you get a better idea eventually of what's going to be meta, because there's always a meta in the current gaming environment. There's tons of optics, 20 different optics, stocks. Some stocks help with recoil control, with flinch, accuracy. There's all kinds of different things that you can look at. Some of the newer things are proficiencies. You can only equip one of these in this area, but you get stuff like reload faster while injured. Then there's actual sleight of hand. So I'm sure those will impact the weapons a little bit different. We can't actually see the pros and cons of those separately. As far as detailed, it just shows kind of what they are. But I'm sure once the full build comes out, we'll get a little bit more access to that. Fast melee, reach, melee range. Earn additional XP for kills. We've had a lot of these before. Defender, improve mount movement and use times. It's kind of weird, like coming in and out of mount. So there's a little different stuff with that. Tons of grips for the rear grips. We have tons of front grips. There's like a lot. There's a bayonet back. It's kind of crazy. Then there's different ammo types that literally change the weapon. You're lowering damage, increasing rate of fire, increasing damage, lowering rate of fire. And then we have basic 45 round drum. And then we got this one, which increases damage, lowers rate of fire as well. And it's a 20 round mag, but it hits hard. And we'll see kind of how these things pop out. And then you get different rounds. This one says no minimap pings, no enemy skulls, firing visibility to enemies. So subsonic seems kind of crazy. Frangible, armor piercing, damage to vehicles and kill streaks. Incendiary. Well, obviously it does that, but it lowers your bullet velocity a little bit there. And it lowers your range. Then we got lengthen, increases your bullet velocity. Hollow point, it removes damage penalty when hitting limbs. So it's like you basically get like a high caliber, but for limbs. That's kind of nutty. Hollow point could be nutty, and that's why it has an asterisk next to the damage. It's kind of weird there. So there's a lot of stuff to be aware of when you're kind of going through these things. Now let's talk a little bit about the perks. There are different perks. Obviously, there's probably going to be 6 perks for each category once the game actually launches. But we got Ghost, undetectable by spy planes, enemy intel or field mics, reduced effectiveness of local informants while moving. See, the key is moving. Fortified, this is like EOD, and it gives you extra EOD powers when you're mounted, crouched, or prone. We got low profile, which is kind of like cold-blooded. Survival training, which is like TACMAS. They just changed the names. Then here's where it gets interesting. We got high alert. Then we have radar. Enemies appear on your mini-map when they fire an unsilenced weapon. Kind of interesting. We're going to have to kind of test how this works with those subsonic rounds, with Ghost, with the suppressor, without, and just kind of see. Obviously, it says with the unsuppressed, but like, how does it get countered, right? We got forward intel. See indicators on the minimap. We saw this 40% viewable area, and then we have tracker. Then we have demolition, which allows you to have 2 lethals, and then you get the projectile line. Double time, which works like it does in Modern Warfare. Tactician, it's a restock. And then we got overkill, which is obviously overkill. But this is unlocked at level 27. Keeping in mind that there's probably going to be all the way to level 55 perks, attachments, streaks, and they're just giving us a limited options of what's unlocked before level 30. Even though it's not in this build, I'm pretty sure there's a leak that there were specialists in the game, same way there is in Modern Warfare. So there could be a way to get actually all of these things stacked on top of each other while forfeiting your actual kill streak. So we'll kind of see how that balances out. We have the regular nade, the Semtex, Molotov, C4, Thermite, and then throwing knife. And then for the stuns, we do have a stim available. We'll see if this restocks like Modern Warfare or like Cold War. I hope it's like the one where you can just keep stimming yourself, because the stun is way more valuable, or a gas grenade or an S-mine could be pretty valuable, considering this shouldn't be a tactical in my opinion. Kind of weird that you could put an S-mine and also still have like your lethals. Kind of weird to me, but we'll see kind of how that plays out. When it comes to the overall streaks, straightforward. We got Intel, which is like a personal UAV, so care package, which gets you a randomized streak, spy plane, which is like a UAV, counter spy plane. And what's funny enough is you can't call these in at the same time. So it's not like you can overlap them with your teammates. It'll say it's too many UAVs in the air. So it'll be kind of interesting, because that means you kind of have a UAV the entire time if your team is semi-decent. And then you got the glide bomb, which is like a cruise missile. Then we have death machine with the explosive rounds. Then we got the mortar barrage, which is like an airstrike. And then we also have a war machine, flame knot, and then dogs. Attack dogs are pretty cool in the higher game modes, which we'll talk about, but in the smaller ones, I don't think they'll be all that effective. Field upgrades, supply box, armor plates, which we didn't get a chance to use, Goliath, which is like an RCXD. It's kind of weird. And then we got a field mic, which is good, but it's nowhere near as good as the one in Cold War. It doesn't pulse quite as often. The range is okay, but it does last the entire match. So if you want to kind of post those 3 of them around the map, kind of have a roaming UAV. And then we have dead silence, which is obviously dead silence. So with that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the actual mode, because I think this is where it gets a little bit confusing. And I talked about it when we got details about Vanguard. I already kind of talked about this, but tactical means less players. Assault means the normal players you're used to, and blitz means more than double the players in some cases. So you can actually do that by quick play. I'm not sure what they'll have access to in the actual beta. But if you go over here, I can go ahead and go to this Eagle Nest Blitz. Blitz, all these ones are Blitz pretty much. But if I go over here, you can see it's 1 out of 32 above my name, right? If I go over here to Blitz Dom on this map, 1 out of 40. That means it's 20v20. If I go to this Red Star one, 24v24. And these are the Blitz modes. But if that's way too many players for you, you can go to the other modes, right? You can go to Assault, which is like normal. Tactical, which is a little bit slower. Whatever your vibe is, go for that, right? Blitz kill confirmed, 12v12. Tactical right here, 6v6. It's a tactical version of kill confirmed. So you're gonna have these different options, and whatever you enjoy playing, they're gonna have something for you. I'll probably lean towards the higher player game modes, because typically those, it's a little bit easier to get a lot of kills. You can get some crazy feeds. Your streaks do a little bit more damage. You could probably get 6 on with the glide bomb or something like that. And then also skill-based matchmaking ends up being a little bit weaker, because you get a broader range of players, good, intermediate, and below average. You get good blend of players. So you got it, kind of feels like different every single match, because sometimes you get more demons, sometimes you don't. I think overall, this gave me a better idea of how the game's going to feel and look. You're going to see 1440p gameplay over on my second channel. You can kind of see it for yourself. Obviously, they still have some tweaks with certain lighting areas, but overall, a lot more fun than I had in the alpha, and I had a decent amount of fun in the alpha. When you're playing those top-level pros, like we were up against, and we went against content creator, press, a lot of different people, it's kind of you can realize how fun it is, but you can also see what it's going to look like once it actually gets into pubs, which will be pretty interesting. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, learned something new. If you did, please do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're brand new and want to find your way back, double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Appreciate all support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.